Okay, so one of the most important things to get right in V Rising is balancing out your things like tombs and vermin nests and Stygian summoning circles so that you can farm efficiently from your base. And I see all sorts of people setting up operations like this in their base and then running around trying to kind of fight everything. And you can make your life way easier than doing this, like kind of having to go through your base and have things run all over the place, dropping loot everywhere in your alchemy rooms, and you're in danger. Like sometimes while you're progressing, oh, look at that, I found a 95% right there for a mutant blood. I already have a good mutant blood, but that's another topic I need to do, is talking about utilizing this method to farm good blood for your account. But anyway, that's not the point of this video. I see people kind of farming like this in their base, and there's a way better way to do this. So when you're building these farming areas, make sure to utilize the garden fences. These are absolutely epic. And what you're going to do is just drop these down with a gate. And now when I'm here in my base, nothing can get to me. Okay, and now I'm separate from these mobs. They can't go through anything. They can't move and run around. I've got them locked into an area. And the reason that the garden fences and gates are so good is because I can still kill them, because things like the crossbow Q are still going to work. Look at that. I can just drop that in there and hit them, or I can do a bunch of AoE spells and just clear everything out. So now I keep all of the loot compact right there next to the spawning stations, and I am perfectly here standing in one spot, nice and safe, able to clear everything out. And this is also going to make it a lot easier when you're setting up your Stygian summoning circle area. I'll see a lot of times people have an area like this, and then you're running around fighting bosses like crazy. You're dying, you're having to come back and finish them off, and some of these fights can be really difficult, especially when you're progressing, but you can make them a lot easier. I'll show you how I do my Stygian summoning arena here that I use. I just go in to the garden section under the fences, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to surround this like so. Boom, and then I'm gonna do the front with gates, so it's gonna look something like this. And I do the double-sided one, that way I can stand right in the middle and I can see perfectly fine. There's no gate blocking my view or anything. So now I just summon something right there. It's not gonna aggro on me, and I can even use my ultimate to burst it down. So the toughest thing in the Stygian summoning circle is going to be this primal blood soul right here. Let's go ahead and let's summon a primal blood soul, and then I'll show you kind of what it looks like. This is how I farm these things here in my base in my Stygian summoning arena. So this thing will pop up in like 5 seconds, and I want to talk about the best abilities to use when you're farming this to be most efficient, because some abilities will work, some will not. Some ultimates will work and some will not. So let's pop back in here to normal mode. We've got our primal blood soul right there. And you can see if I've got him locked in this arena with the garden gates and fences, he's not going to aggro on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my crossbow Q. I'm going to start spamming spells like so. And then this ultimate works like this. It goes through the fence. Now some ultimates won't, but look at that. Primal blood soul right there, doing nothing, not de-aggroing. And I can just sit here and farm this boss instead of sitting here running around fighting and risking dying. I just utilize the fences to take it down just like that. Easy peasy, and I can extract the blood to win the fight. I was never at risk of taking any damage, and I'm able to kill him in like 10 seconds. And look at that, we actually got a cracked out tier 4 jewel with 2 max rolls from that. So this is going to be a great way for you to farm this stuff in your base before you're technically ready and have perfectly optimized gear. And you do want to be a little bit careful on like which ultimate you choose, because some of them just flat out aren't going to work and they're not going to be able to pass through the garden fencing. So if I try something like Chaos Barrage, would be a really good high DPS ultimate to use in this situation. If you see right here, I'm not able to get through the fence. So Chaos Barrage would have been a really good one, but you need something that can go over the fence. So just make sure whatever build you like doing, you kind of test this out before summoning a bunch of stuff in here, because I'm using 3 things that are all spells which can go in there. So right there with Bone Explosion, it lets me place it in there. Void lets me place all of the constant ignites in there. And then my ultimate that I was using here in the Blood School right here, the Crimson Beam, is going to allow me to beam right through that fencing. And then there's not a ton of weapon abilities that let you get in there, but something like the crossbow Q will let you kind of drop it from the sky and rain in there. So I'm able to get like 4 different ways to damage whatever's in there behind the fencing and burst it down really fast. And also, obviously, you want to take advantage of utilizing this with your tombs. Now, with the tombs, a lot of times you'll have tons of mobs grouped up. So what I like to do is use the Veil of Illusion because I can recall. So what I'm going to do is kind of go in there, pick everything up, and then recall back to the start. And then I can close the tomb and simply blow everything up once it's grouped up like that and able to farm everything super efficiently. So you can utilize these fences on all 3 of your spawning areas, whether it's a tomb, a vermin nest, or a Stygian summoning circle. And I do also want to work on a dedicated video talking about like what are the best things to farm in all of these different summoning areas, because these are very important to get right, and some of these options are a lot more efficient than others, and some of them are going to be a lot more beneficial for you to be putting resources in to farming a lot of as soon as you can. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the pro tips and guides like that that are going to be coming your way here about V Rising. And then I also do have the Discord linked down below if you want to pop in and be able to tag me to ask questions or chat with other people. We're actually pretty close to reaching numbers on the Discord where I'm going to start hosting servers like PvE and PvP servers for people to be able to play together once we grow the Discord a little bit, but we're getting close to that point. So I appreciate all of you. Thanks for watching. Hope this trick helps. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.